Okay, Max and I will now explain you the rules for the Dawn of Pangaea. We will first only talk about the base game, and in a second video we will also talk about the expansion Wild Woods. So this is the general setup for 2 players. So in general you place the scoring mountain here, and then you place the corresponding number of summit markers here, so 2 for us 2. And then we randomly assemble here the landscape, the continent. But it's important that we take off each of the biomes 1 per player. So we have 2 suns, we have 2 wind, we have 2 rain, and we have 2 snow. And then after this is done and assembled, we take from the blessing bag, we take the blessings and place them here on these flower icons, these star flower icons. We place them here so that all these icons are covered. And these blessings we will explain a bit later in the explanation what you can do with them. And then Max and I both take all our trees, so that's 10 trees in 1 color. And we also take 2 seeds, plus 1 seed each that we place here next to the scoring mountain on the 0 square here. And then we also take our spirit, so I have the wind spirit and Max has the snow spirit. I take the starting player marker, and then we also both have an overview card where you see the actions that can be performed, and then we also both take a creature ritual card, and we also take a landscape land ritual card.
From the decks.
Yeah, exactly, from the decks, and they are both hidden, so only you know them. And then we place here the 2 decks, the land rituals and the creature rituals. And then we place and we openly reveal here 2 land rituals and 2 creature rituals. And on these rituals we then place favor tokens from the favor bag and place them here on top of them. And then we also have here the weather resources. We place them somewhere close where all players can reach them. And then I think that's the whole setup. And then, I forgot this here. And we have here the most trees achievement with the most trees marker. And then we have here the 3 ancient cards with Thorndal, the eagle, with Okuma the bear, with Chelon the turtle. And so how is the game played? To win the game, I think that's always most important, is you win the game with having the most points in the end. And the game ends once 1 player reaches the summit. You can still score more points, but once someone scores 30 points, then you take the marker here, and then the round is finished. Mm-hmm. The round is finished, and you play 1 more round.
Yes.
Yeah, 1 special round. And then, so what can we do? I think we play in turns. So it's me, and then it's Max, and then again me. And then we have different actions. So there are, in the base game, there are 5 different actions. Mm-hmm. You can also see them on Max cards just with the symbols, mm-hmm. exactly. And then, so these 5 actions are Flying Seed. And then we have Expand Forest, Spirit Grove, Summon the Agents, and playing a ritual card.
Yes.
And always when it's your turn, you can choose 2 actions. But it's also possible to play the same action twice.
Yes.
It's also important that the starting player, it stays with me. It just marks where the round started so that we can make sure that in the end everyone played the same number of turns. So when it's now my turn, I can perform 2 of these actions. So what does Flying Seed mean? Flying Seed means that Max, for example, takes a seed and places it somewhere on a land square.
Mm-hmm. Which one are the land squares?
Yeah, that's a good question. So if we take a look at one of these biome tiles, there are always 2 water squares and 3 land squares. Mm-hmm. So the ones with the circles are the land squares, and the other ones are the water squares. Mm-hmm. And so a seed can only be placed on a land square, and you can place a flying seed, you can place it everywhere you want, right? Yes. For example,
I could place it here.
exactly. And so this is also most of the time the first move to enter the continent with the first seed. So that's a flying seed. Then let's have a look at spirit growth, because it's most of the time the second action that you would perform. So that means that you take your spirit and you place it on a water square.
So now I can't put it on land, so I have to put it on water.
Yes.
And what if I want to take this tile here?
Yeah, so that's possible. So even if here is a blessing, you can place your spirit here and then you take the blessing. How you can activate the blessing, we will explain in the end. But like this, you take a blessing with placing your spirit on top of it. Spirits can be placed everywhere, but simply on water squares, not on land squares.
Right.
And so once you now placed, you moved a spirit, so that's a part of the spirit growth action. You now can, the second part of it, you can now all seeds adjacent to it will grow. So even if I would also now have placed a seed here, both of our seeds would grow now.
Oh, even the other players' seeds.
Not just yours, exactly.
Okay.
So it would be, for example, here it would be possible to have 5 seeds here, if it would be a lot of players, of course, and then all of them would grow. No, only 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 3,
Yes.
and here these are the water squares, of course. So, so what now would happen as the second part of this spirit growth action would be that, let's say we both have now here, then both of us would place a tree here.
Yeah.
And now both of us get the resource, the weather resource here. So you would get snow, and I would also get snow. Right? So we both would take one of these. It's important that, for example, if your tree would be here, it would be sun. If you have 2 on sun and you would grow both of them, so for example, here the spirit would be here and you would grow both these trees, then you would get 2 sun, or a sun and a wind. So simply all the trees that grow provide you now one of these weather resources.
Perfect.
And so that's the spirit growth action. Move your spirit and let all adjacent seeds grow.
So I first move it and then I let it grow.
Exactly. But you can also, it's also possible that you leave it stationary.
Yeah.
It can also stay here. So if here would be a seed and you leave it here and you would be very nice and kind and want to grow my tree, could even be relevant for some kind because you need it for later. Then you could simply stay here and say, okay, I simply perform here my spirit growth action. Right. And then I would again place a tree here. I would take a sun icon. And so these are like the 2 major actions that you perform a lot because you have to place also seeds, but also let them grow.
Can another spirit be on the same tile?
No, that's not possible. You can only be, all the spirits can only be on individual water squares. And then let's have a look at the third action, which is also quite important, because let's now assume Max and I both performed our turns. I would have grown a tree, Max would have grown a tree, flying seed, and then grown a tree with spirit act. And now it's again Max's turn. And so he could, as a third thing, he could expand his forest. What does expand the forest means? It means that you can place both 1 seed or 2 seeds on land squares, but they need to be adjacent to your tree.
Yeah.
So for example, you could place one here and you could place one here.
In this scenario, it would also be the only possibility.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
But let's assume we would have played a little bit differently and you would have grew your tree here. So then you could do it like this.
Yes.
And here, and now as a second action, so this would be your first action, expand forest, and then you could do again spirit growth. So you could, for example, go here,
Yes.
take the blessing,
I take this one.
exactly, the spirit stays, and now you can grow both trees at the same time. Here, and again, you take 2 rain resources, right?
Yes.
And you get your seeds back. So that's the third action. So you have flying seed, you can spread everywhere where you want. The expand forest, you can only expand on adjacent land squares, right?
How about if it would be this scenario?
Yes.
And I want to use the expand forest action.
Yes.
Can I only put the seeds around 1 tree?
No,
Or can I use them
exactly.
around all?
It's most of the time you want to keep them close to each other because it's easier to grow. But of course that's possible. So you can place one here and one there, or you could also only place one. That's totally up to you. But yeah, that's a very valid question. Then we have the third action. The third action would be summon the ancient. Summon the ancient means you can move them, so it's always combined with moving one of the ancients and performing their individual power, right? So let us have a look at the different powers. So we have Chelon here. You can only be placed on a water square, like a spirit. It's also possible that the spirit can be placed on Chelon.
Okay.
Right? And once you placed it there, you can take a resource of one of the adjacent biomes. So here would be we have rain, and we have here water, sun, sorry, and we have here wind, right? So you could take one of these three weather resources here.
If
right?
I place it on a blessing token, do I get the blessing or don't?
No, the blessing would stay. So you would place it here, and once you place a spirit here, you can take it. You can also, of course, place it on top, that it's better visible. But the only spirits take blessings.
Okay.
And so Chelon is simply you place it and you get a surrounding resource. That's its instant effect.
Yeah.
This happens directly. The second effect, and it will be important with player ritual card, is that it creates a bridge between two, for example, if it would be here, let's say we place it here, it creates a bridge over a water square.
Right.
And this is important to play land ritual cards, right? So we will go into more detail once we have a look at the land rituals, but it simply creates a bridge. It's like a land square, but you can't place seeds on it.
Right.
It's simply for rituals. So that's Chelon. Gives you a resource and is part of can be part of land rituals.
Is this going to be a bridge only for me or also for you?
For everyone. So the permanent effects, they are for everyone. The instant effect is only for you.
Yes.
So then we have Okuma. Okuma can be placed anywhere on the board, for example here, but it has to be a land square. It's a bear, so it has to be on a land. And secondly, you can also place a seed next to a tree. So for example, you could place here a seed, and I place Okuma here.
Yeah.
But you could also place them on exactly the same square. That's also possible.
Okay.
But it can also be...
So you can share the space.
Yes, with the seeds.
Yes.
Yes. And you can also place, again, a spirit to Okuma. That would also be possible. Oh, no, sorry, it's on a land square. That's not possible. But you can, a tree and Okuma can be on the same square. That's also possible. And so what is the second? That's the instant effect. Place a seed and replace Okuma.
Yeah.
And the second one is when now, for example, I would perform here, I would spread my seeds. I would perform the spirit growth action. Then I place here again a tree, take 2 of the snow resources. Now your every seed that is on the same square as Okuma now also grows.
Oh, so I can use Okuma to passively let grow my trees.
Exactly. And Okuma would then travel to the next free unoccupied land square. You can, the one that did it can choose where it goes.
Yes.
If everything is already occupied, you just leave Okuma where it is. Right?
Does this give any advantage if he stays there?
If it's it's good for you if it's closed still, because you can perform another Okuma action, place a seed there, and then it can grow again with a spirit growth action. So it's good to have Okuma here. But since Okuma, you can always replace it. It's also so you can also place it somewhere else. And then we have, last but not least, we have Forndal. Forndal, if you, I take it and I place it on a tree, for example, like this. Now this tree is protected to be destroyed. This is important for land rituals. We will explain this a bit later. But once in this turn, this tree can't decay, so it stays here. Forndal protects it. On top, we have again a permanent effect, which can be used by everyone. And this means that all these creature rituals, we will explain them in a second, but they have costs here. The costs of these creature rituals, if they have snow, they are decreased by 1 snow. So if you have, for example, a creature that costs 3 snow, it's now only 2 snow. Yeah. And if Torndal would be here on the rain biome, it would be less 1 rain, and here it would be less 1 wind, right? So
this would benefit everyone, right?
This would benefit everyone, like all the permanent actions of the ancients, right? And so these are the the 4 actions. And now we have the last one. It's play a ritual card. So what does play a ritual card means? So we have 2 private ritual cards that only we can play. And they stay hidden for the others, and we have these 4 open ones. And playing a ritual card means there are land rituals and there are creature rituals. The creature rituals are a bit easier to explain. It means that you simply have to pay these costs here. So if I want to play this card, I simply have to pay 1 wind resource, 1 sun resource, 1 rain, and a wild one. This means can be any one resource that you have. So if I would now have all these resources, at the moment I don't have them, but let's assume I have them, I can say, okay, one of my 2 actions is play a ritual card. I play this one, I take it, pay the costs, I take it, I place it in front of me. That's important. I place it somewhere here, right? And then I also get this favor token, which I will explain in a second. And then I score the points. So this would give me 4 points.
So it's always marked on the cards how many points.
Exactly. With creature card, it's always marked.
Right.
So I get 4 points and place the card in front of me. Then, if it's still my turn, because this was my first action, there is no new card revealed here. This won't be done until it's your turn again. Then you will have again a full set of cards available, right? And then there are also the land rituals. Land rituals simply show you 2 different biomes. So we have here, for example, sun and wind. And you need to connect them with trees, right? And so, for example, if you would want to play this ritual here, you need a tree on sun, 1 tree. You simply choose, let's say you would have here a tree, and there would be my tree. And so now there is a connection. So it doesn't need to be only your trees, right? Can also be different color trees. It can also be via a spirit. It could also be via a spirit. Let's say here would be your spirit. Then this would also be a connection. Can be go over the spirit. Can also use Chelon, like we said. It's like a bridge, right? Could also be like this with me and Chelon, right? You simply choose 2 trees, so 1 here, and then you have to take the shortest possible route. So this means at the moment this is the shortest possible route, but let's assume you have here a tree, then this is the shortest route, right? Sometimes you can choose between 2 routes because they have exactly the same length, then you can choose which route you want to go, but you simply have to define 2 trees and then take the shortest route. So if it, for example, would be you could now say, okay, I want to perform this sun to wind. So this would mean that you take it, right? You take this one. It's an action, of course, that you perform. A bit closer.
This one.
And you take this one. And then you simply now get points. So for all of your trees, you get a point. So 1, 2, 3. For Chelon, you get also a point. Could also be a spirit, right? So if it would be, for example, like this, it would also be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
So it's every spirit that is part of the chain gives you a point. Chelon gives you gives you a point. And if you also include me, gives you also a point. So this means in this case, but it's important, if I have 2 trees here, it's still 1 point. It's simply, I give you at maximum 1 point because I'm part of your chain.
So right? I want to use most mine
your trees, you want to use spirits, also my spirit you can use, but you never get from me several points.
Could I choose a spirit as a starting point for like rain and wind?
No, because the spirit can't be on land. But even if it would be on water, it's only trees to trees. Therefore, there is also a tree symbol.
But the spirit can be used in between.
Yes, exactly, like Chelon. It's never the starting point. It's also not that I can't be the starting point. But here, it's still possible. So now it would be simply 4, but you can say 5. You always have to be the start and the end point. So, and if you now would score this one, it gives you 5 points, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what now happens is that these trees, your trees, not mine, they decay, they go away, right?
Yes. So
except for if you would have a tree that is protected by Tornal in this round. So you played Tornal.
And then played the ritual
and
card.
then the ritual in the same round, then this tree would be protected. Perfect. Otherwise, you would remove them, right?
So it's great to have like trees on the board that don't go away.
Yeah, because otherwise the only possible to again get on the board is via a flying seed. And as long as you have a tree there, you can still expand forests, right? So let us, for a short second, place these back here. Just this one as well, just to also explain the last parts here. So when you play a card from your hand, also important, when you place one from your hand, for example, I would place this one, I would pay the 2 wind, the 1 sun, and the 1 wild resource. Then again, I place it here, right? I get the 4 points. And important now, I can, before I have to do something else, I can take here one. I can take a land ritual or I can take a creature ritual to have, again, 2 cards available here. Still important, even if I take one from here, there isn't a new one until it's your turn. And now what we see here, these are the favor tokens. We have the turtle here, the turtle shell. We have the paws from the bear, from Okuma. And we have a feather from Torndal, right? And so let's say I take this one here. Now I would have played it, right? I place it here in front of me. And since this is a match here, I can place this already here just to tell me, hey, I can activate this one.
Yeah.
Because if I would have here like a paw print like this one, for example, this one would be like this, I would have taken this one. So this one I can't activate for the moment because I don't have a matching symbol here.
Yes.
I can only, until, if that's the case, I can use them as a wild resource. Here's a wild resource symbol here in the very top. So they can be used as any weather resource to gather creatures, right? To perform creature rituals. But let's now assume it was the other way around. I can place it here. And from now on, whenever I want to do it, I can still spend it as a wild resource. Then it simply goes away.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Or I can flip it, right? And when I flip it, I can perform a Forendal, I can summoning, but it's not an action.
It's not an action. It's extra move.
It's an extra move, exactly. And so you want to make sure that you have, of course, matching ones. So for example, if it would have been like this, then I would maybe in the next or future round want this card, because now I have one here that matches and one here that matches.
So they don't have to match
directly.
You can...
Yeah, you would simply have them here, and once it's here possible, you simply place them here. Until now, nothing has happened. It's more to show you that you now can activate them.
Right.
And you can still spend them as wild resources. But it's simply now, it's visible for you, hey, I have 2 like extra actions that I can perform at any time when I want. In my turn, of course, not in your turn.
Can you do multiple ones?
Yes, you can do multiple of these extra actions. That also makes your turn much more interesting because you have possibilities outside of these 2 actions, right? And now what is also important is here you have like a connection. You see that? And so always when I now play cards, I have to place them directly in this chain here, right? So for example, if I would have played this land ritual, I would have placed it directly here, right? And so that's like the end of this chain, right? And it's important that land rituals, they don't have a symbol here. They can only inherit one from a creature card next to it. So here I can place a paw and nothing but a paw print from Okuma, right?
Okay.
Because here is no more, I can't like connect it anymore here. So it would be, and here, but let's assume I would have another card, this one, if it's in the middle, right? Here, between 2 creatures, then it can inherit from here a feather or here a paw print. I can choose until I have one, I can place, and until I activate it, I can choose what I want to place it. So even if I would have already placed one here, I can still change it, but once you performed it, it's done, right?
How if it chains even more?
Yeah, if it's like this, I can this inherits from this and this inherits from this. So here would only be feathers would possible. Yes. And you simply have to always place the cards in your chain, except when you can't. For example, if I would take this end card again, then I would simply create a new chain. But you can only create a new chain if you have a second end or a second beginning, right? And the chains don't give you points in the end or something. Yes. It simply it limits a bit which powers you can activate, right? Okay. And for example, at the moment, I would have no place for this one here. Right, yeah. Maybe if I have here, like if I would have like a creature card with a Chelon sign here, now I would have a possibility to do that. Yeah. Right.
And you could place it here or here.
Yeah, I could also place it here, of course. But here it's of course makes much more sense. But yeah, I could also just simply place it here. But these are the favorite tokens, right? So the favorite tokens, they always, when a new card is revealed, let's say I keep this one and this one go back here, just to tidy up a bit the space here. So let's assume I really have now played this one with the feather. I take it. Place it in front of me, and now if a new one comes up, right, I place it here.
So you finish your turn. Right?
Yeah, I finished my turn. It's now your turn. I place here a new favorite token, and it's available. Yeah. It's important that you can also, when I play a hand ritual card, if I play one from my hand, I can take a new one. I already told you this. But it's important I can also take a random one that I don't see. I can take from this pile or this pile. Yes. But if I do that, I draw a random favorite token from the bag. Right.
And I take it to my
Yeah, you take it to yourself, exactly.
Perfect.
So I think, and now we would play and play and play, and at one point, someone reaches 30, then you would perform your last turn. So this means you simply take another 2 actions. So all the players do that until everyone had the same amount of turns. And after that, we perform one last special round. And the special round simply works like this, that everyone can play one last ritual. You can only, so no more actions are possible. So you can only perform one last ritual. It can be a land ritual.
Yeah.
If it's a land ritual, the trees are not removed anymore. Okay. So the trees stay. It can also be one of the ones here.
Oh, also an open one.
Yeah, absolutely an open one. If I take an open one, it doesn't get renewed anymore. Yeah. So they can also get less and less and less. So maybe the last player only has, if it's 4 player, has 1 card here and 2 in their hand, right? Okay. And also with the creature card, you simply have to pay them. Do you have the weather resources? Do you have the wild resources to pay it, right? Yes. And you simply perform your action and score, perform not action, but a ritual, like a last ritual. You score the points,
yes,
right? And after everyone did that, the round is over. So the game is over once everyone has performed this. And so then we simply will see who has the most points, right? Yes. And what is very important is also in this last turn. It's not possible to perform any other action than play 1 ritual card. But what is important is you can still use your favor tokens. That's still possible. You can use the wild resource of them, but also their ability. Maybe you need them, right? And also you can also use the blessings. We didn't talk until now about the blessings. The blessings are the tokens that you can gather with your spirit from the water squares, right? And these are, like the favor tokens, extra actions. You can always play them. They don't count as an action, right? And you can also play them in your very last turn.
Okay.
In this special turn, right? And so there are 4 different types. So you have a flying seed, classical flying seed. You can simply place a flying seed somewhere and it's not an action. Yes. Then you have vigorous growth. Vigorous growth simply means you can grow 1 seed. Important, only 1. It can also be from an opponent because maybe you want to create a land check. Yes.
Interesting.
Important is the vigorous growth doesn't trigger Okuma. It's only the spirit growth that would do that, right? So 1 seed, so this is a wild resource, that's the 3rd one. And this is a wild summon the agent. So this means you can simply use one of the summon the agent actions.
So I don't need those tokens to use this.
It's the same as this summon the agent here, but it's not an action. It doesn't count as an action, right? So these are the blessings. You simply gather them and they get less and less and less, of course, because you also don't renew them. That's important. And you can use them always in your turn and also in the last turn, right? And so the last thing I have to explain is the most trees. Always when a player has 5 or more trees, they can take the most trees marker to them. And this gives you the power that as soon as you have it, so I have the 5th tree in my turn, I can exchange one of my resources to another one. So maybe I have wind and I can now take sun. Right. It's only with 1, and you can do this every turn, 1 time, as long as you have the most trees. Important, when there is a tie with most trees, then nobody has it. Then it goes back.
It goes back to it.
And it's also important that the last person that has this, so if it's the game has finished, the last special round with us playing 1 last ritual has also finished, and this is still with me, right? Then I get 2 points, 2 additional points. So in this base version, you get, to summarize, you get points from creatures, the one that are written here. You get points from the land rituals. Right. Land rituals give you points for your own trees, for your spirits, for enemy spirits, for the Chelon, right? And then these 2 points are also like scored in the very last second of the game, right? So once now everyone would have played the last ritual, and now, for example, it would be I have the most trees, I get 2 more points and can win the game like this.
And so I got it right that if we are like both at 29 and you pass like maybe from 28, you get like 3 points. You would go from 28, 29, 30.
Yes.
And then you go back to 1.
Exactly.
And take this one to you.
Yeah, just as to mark that I surpassed the summit.
Right.
And like this now, the game we will continue. So let's say my last ritual would be this one.
Yes.
Then I would get simply 3 points. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You would also perform maybe 5.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And maybe you have the most trees, then you get 2 points.
Right. Okay.
And that's how you play the Dawn of Pangaea.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Max.